Okay, it's 6:01, so we can get started. Thank you for everyone who was able to join us this evening. Welcome to Bellevue Utilities Community Meeting. This is a discussion on the proposed budget and rates for 2027 and 28. But first, before we get started, we want to make sure that everyone has access to this presentation. And so if you do need translation services, we want you to email us at utilities@bellevuelaw.gov, and we can provide this presentation in any language that you need. Okay, so to get started, first, I am joined here today by our two presenters and speakers. First, we have Matt Hobson. He is Bellevue Utilities Fiscal Manager, and we have Barol Shaha. He is Bellevue Utilities Capital Improvement Plans Manager. And they are going to be going over and having the discussion today on the things you see here on the agenda. First, you're going to see an overview of utility services, and then you're going to hear information about how we maintain this critical infrastructure, and then just some information about our capital improvement program and what it pays for. And then we're going to get into the proposed 27-28 utilities budget and rate impacts. And then Hobson is actually going to give a little bit of information about Bellevue Utilities Bill Assistance Program and new efforts that's been taken to expand that program. After the presentation, we will have some time left over for question and answers. So with that said, I'm going to hand it over to Matt Hobson.
Thanks, Michaeline. Good evening, everyone. Pleasure to join you on this discussion virtually. Well, to get us started, we have 4 lines of business here at Bellevue Utilities that are critical to our customers' quality of life. And those include drinking water, sewer, stormwater, and solid waste management. These services are essential to our community's health and safety. They also improve the quality of our neighborhoods and the health of the natural environment. They are vital to the economic growth and the long-term prosperity of our city, and our mission is to provide continuity of these services 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and 365.25 days a year, including leap year or leap day. We'll do a quick, brief overview of each of the 3 piped utilities, starting with the water utility. The water utility's mission is to deliver a reliable supply of safe, high-quality drinking water to meet our community's needs. Now, in addition to Bellevue, we also provide water service to the Points communities. And so Bellevue's service area ranges from sea level all the way up to 1,500 feet above sea level. And as a result of that topography, we have more than 70 different pressure zones that have to be constantly managed, and it takes over 600 miles of pressurized pipes and reservoirs and pump stations to deliver water to our customers, homes, and businesses. And Burl will talk about this later on, but our system was built 30 to 50 years ago, and that means it's well past its midlife. We serve over 260,000 people during the day and about 155,000 people at night. And that higher daytime population that we serve is due to the commercial and business activities that occur here in Bellevue. Our water comes from pristine watersheds in the Cascade Mountains and is some of the best quality in the nation. We're proud of that. Our sewer system is made up of pipes and pump stations. We operate about 46 pump stations and, similar to the water utility, about 600 separate miles of sewer pipes that collect and send wastewater to King County's regional treatment system. Our goal is to ensure public health and safety for our community and to protect the environment. As with water, we provide wastewater services to not just Bellevue, but also to the Point communities and to Beauarts. The sewer system relies on gravity for flow, and in addition to the hundreds of miles of pipes, our pump stations help carry the sewage to higher levels when gravity doesn't get the job done. And then the last of our piped utilities is our storm and surface water utility. And that service area is contained within the Bellevue city limits. This utility allows us to protect water quality for over 80 miles of open streams and 800 acres of protected wetlands to support fish and wildlife habitat. We also maintain more than 400 miles of pipes and storm drains and culverts that help control damage from storm events and to protect the environment. The system covers 32 square miles. Now, the storm system is unique amongst the three utilities in that it's made up of both private and public systems, and these systems are interconnected. So the city is responsible for all drainage within city streets and public property, and private property owners are generally responsible for the drainage systems on their own property. And this creates a patchwork of ownership and responsibilities that make managing the system a bit more complex. I'd like to take about 3 minutes here now to share a quick video with you all that highlights some of the activities and the capital projects that we've been working on to maintain and to sustain the utility infrastructure. Thanks, Michaeline, for sharing that video. That video is great to help my in-laws know that I actually have a job and I do something. So anyway, next I'm going to pass the baton off to Barol Shaha. He's our utility CIP manager. and he'll discuss how we take care of the utility infrastructure here in Bellevue.
Thank you, Matt. Good evening, everyone. Without regular investment, our piped and natural systems will fail. Water main breaks, sewer overflows, and stormwater flooding event can occur without warning. The consequences of system failures are disruption of utility services, potential damage to homes and businesses, risk to our public health, and degradation of natural environment. Our operation and maintenance staffs respond to these events by fixing water main breaks, clearing sewer blockages, and responding to flood events when they occur. They are available 24/7 to perform repair work so that we can mitigate these issues and get utilities back in service. While reactive emergency responses get the headlines, our goal is to minimize these types of failure through periodic maintenance and detect the problems early through condition assessment activities. Examples of preventative activities, maintenance activities includes exercising and inspecting the fire hydrants and valves so that we can ensure they work when they're called upon, or maintaining pumps and other equipment to keep the systems up and running and ensure systems reliability. Example of corrective maintenance activities includes repairing known sewer and storm pipe defects before they become bigger problems. Condition assessment programs use digital media and cameras to view and assess the inside of our pipes and detect the defects early so that we can avoid them becoming a bigger problem down the road. Undetected pipes can lead to sewer blockages or overflows, or can even result in storm flooding, which can impact homes, businesses, and the environment. We coordinate these repairs with other city activities, such as transportation department's pavement overlay program, and this can save money and lessen customers' impacts. Our asset management program uses the condition assessment data to inform the capital improvements program and works to optimize our maintenance intervals. The capital improvement program is a critical component of utilities' ability to continuing providing water, wastewater, and storm surface water services to our customers. It is a 6-year plan in which we invest funds into capital improvements programs and projects, and it is updated every 2 years as part of biennial budget process. Investing in CIP addresses critical needs for renewal and replacement of our aging infrastructures, ensures that we continue to support growth in our city, and provides the environmental stewardship of our watersheds, including cities' creeks, lakes, and wetlands. The proposed 2027 to 2032 6-year CIP budget totals about $458.5 million. This slide shows the proposed 6-year budget breakdown into 5 key investment areas. City's utility infrastructure is aging, and so the need for capital investments is growing. We continue to invest about 75% of the capital budget for renewal and replacement of aging water, sewer, and stormwater infrastructure. Our asset management program helps prioritize infrastructure replacement at the optimum time. Not too soon, not too late. The goal is to minimize costs while maintaining existing service delivery to our community. We also have included $37.5 million funding for capital projects to preserve and protect the natural environment of Bellevue's aquatic resources. And in addition, proposed CIP also includes funding for projects to support Bellevue's growth and address emergency supply needs in the event of an earthquake, and also to realize some operational efficiencies for our utility work. Our capital program includes 3 main utilities, as Matt mentioned before: water, sewer, storm and surface water. Each of these utilities have programs and many projects within these programs. Water utility has the most investment with about 270 million total, which is about 60% of the total capital budget. Water main replacement program is the largest program within the water utility. Through this program, we replace aging water pipes that have reached their useful life. The goal of this program is to replace about 5 miles of pipe per year on average. And at this rate, it will be taking 100 years to replace the entire pipe system. The proposed sewer utility 6-year budget is about 104 million. It includes projects to replace and rehabilitate aging pipes and pump stations to ensure the wastewater is collected and conveyed to King County's regional treatment systems. These projects also improve system reliability, meet safety and regulatory requirements, and reduce the risk of system failure, and thereby keeping sewer infrastructure running efficiently. The storm and surface water CIP is about 84 million for the 6-year budget. It includes projects that prevent stormwater flooding, improve stream health, and preserve and protect the natural environment that we all value in the Pacific Northwest. Next, I will hand over the presentation back to Matt to discuss the utilities biennial budget and rates proposal. Matt?
Thanks, Burrell. So the development and the eventual adoption of utility rates is almost a years-long process. This is intentional as it provides the time necessary for the Environmental Services Commission, the City Council, and the City Management Team to weigh the value to the community from potential rate adjustments. You can see the gold star to show where we are today and to make sure everybody gets a gold star for coming tonight to the meeting. So, and at this point in the process, around the June time period, you can see on the timeline that we are beginning to share the preliminary rates and budget information with the Environmental Services Commission, the City Council, and with the community, such as meetings like this. Looking forward, there will be a series of public meetings on the proposed budget between now and October, as well as several public hearings for comment on the budget and rates. Following these public meetings, City Council is scheduled to take action on the budget and utility rates in November, and then rate adjustments that are approved by the Council would go into effect on January of next year. Now, utility rates are the primary source of funding for operating the 3 utilities that we're talking about tonight. And as a result, we go through a very rigorous process every 2 years to determine the right rate settings to support the operating and capital budgets. These decisions aren't made in isolation. I want to talk a bit about that process. It's a careful process that, as I mentioned earlier, requires formal approval by Bellevue City Council. The process begins with the utilities leadership team, which takes a first review of budget requests. Fiscal stewardship is very important to our team. If you live in Bellevue Utilities service area, we recognize that you don't have a choice in getting services elsewhere. And so it's our job to make sure that every financial decision that we make is in the best use for our community members. As a result, utilities budgets and rates are reviewed in detail by a council-appointed Environmental Services Commission. The commission is a 7-member community advisory committee appointed by the council. And over the last few months, the commission reviewed the budget in detail over 5 meetings. The commission's role is to provide a recommendation to the council on whether the budget and the rates should be adopted. To do this, they hold a public hearing and they gather comments before making a formal recommendation to council. And utilities is unique in that we are the only department in the city whose budget, both operating and capital, are reviewed by a commission. The budget and rates are also reviewed by the city manager before she decides what to forward to city council consideration. And then finally, after this rigorous process, the budget is presented to council for their review before adoption. We also rely on a series of financial policies to provide consistent guidance on the timing, the level, and the need for rate adjustments to support utilities budget. These policies are critical because they ensure that we continue to provide sustainable utility services, not just today, but for generations to come. Examples of these policies include ones that provide predictable rates to our customers. For this reason, we forecast rates not just for the next 2 years or the next 6 years, but we actually forecast out over 75 years, which is the average lifespan of our system assets. These policies also direct us to pass wholesale costs from our regional providers through to our customer bills. As a result, these costs and the changes in these costs don't hamper the ability to deliver service to community members. We set rates to fund the full cost of providing utility services. What that means is each utility is financially independent from other tax resources of the city. And we also maintain adequate reserves, both for operations and for capital. This is an important policy so that we don't have to come back to the community for a rate increase in the middle of the year if there's an adverse weather or economic condition. And then, as Barol mentioned, we invest in utility infrastructure. Now, whether that is putting money in the ground today or putting it aside to take care of future needs. And one thing you'll notice about Bellevue Utilities, and one reason I love working here, is that we really take a long-term focus when it comes to rate setting and financial planning. And that ensures that we are accounting for the need for us to leave our community better than we found it. And it allows us also to ensure that we have high quality, reliable services both today and tomorrow. The proposed budget is, the projected operating budget is about $512 million for our 4 lines of business, and that's over the next 2 years because the city of Bellevue runs a biennial budget. Let's take a brief look at where that money goes for Bellevue Utilities. For every dollar that you pay in utility bills, 50 cents goes to pay for external costs, or what we here at Utilities have to pay others. And this includes payments to Cascade Water Alliance for water supply and to King County for wastewater treatment. It also includes the city and state taxes that are paid to both to cities and to the state of Washington. And it also includes payments to the city of Bellevue for other services such as facility rent and information technology. We don't control these costs, and we have no choice in paying them. The second biggest expense for utilities is the investment in taking care of our system infrastructure. The capital improvement program that Barol summarized, on an annual basis, that takes up about 35 cents of every dollar in rates. The smallest portion, about 15 cents of every dollar that is paid, is for local operational activities that go into maintaining our systems and delivering services to the community. This next slide shows you the impact of the projected budget on the average residential utility bill. To orient folks, if you look at the top left corner of the table, we'll move from there. Our current typical residential bill for water, sewer, and stormwater services is about $229 per month in 2026. If we look at the key changes to that bill heading into next year, wholesale costs are projected to add $10.53 to that customer bill next year. City Council will be evaluating expanding the utility bill assistance program next year. I'll speak about this initiative later on, but funding this program change will add about $2 to the bill next year. All other utility local costs, which include investments in our capital infrastructure, city and state taxes, and local operating costs, are expected to add $6.95 to the bill. And then finally, we periodically review utility rates to ensure that rates are fair to customers based on the cost of the service provided to them. Over the next 5 years, there will be a series of sewer rate adjustments to improve equity between the single-family residential, the multifamily residential, and the commercial customer groups. This sewer equity adjustment would add $2.84 to the typical residential bill next year. Next, I want to share information on the Bill Assistance Program, which helps residents facing affordability concerns. First, we're mindful of members in our community who may be in a disadvantaged financial position, and that utility bills that are paid every month may be a hardship. And so we have several programs to help folks. One is we offer an ongoing utility rate relief program that's available to our low-income seniors and those individuals with permanent disabilities. This program provides a 70% discount to customers who receive a bill directly from Bellevue Utilities. It also provides a 70% rebate to customers of multifamily housing who may receive their utility bills indirectly from Bellevue Utilities. We also have a series of short-term programs available, including the Emergency Assistance Program. This program waives up to 4 months of basic utility bills for qualified customers. And we have a tax relief program that's available to provide a utility tax rebate to low-income households, regardless of age or physical ability. And our newest program is the Neighbors Helping Neighbors program, which waives up to 2 months of basic utility bills to households that are past due on their utility bills and are at risk of having their water shut off. Almost 1,100 households here in Bellevue take advantage of these programs today, and we spend over $1 million each year to help them. So if you know someone who may be in need of these services, please help us get that word out. As I mentioned earlier, several changes to the Bill Assistance Program are included in the upcoming proposed budget. First, the long-term assistance program would be expanded to seniors and individuals with permanent disabilities at a higher income level. So with incomes between 50% and 80% of area median income. To put that in perspective, that's about up to $120,000 per year for a family of 4. These eligible customers would receive a 35% discount on their utility bill. Additionally, the program would be expanded to non-senior households with annual incomes at the same level, up to 80% of area median income. These households would also receive a 35% discount on their bill. At the same time, residents who are currently on our program today or who are currently eligible for our program today, they would continue to receive a 70% discount or rebate on their bills. Some other changes that are being proposed in next year's budget include aligning the short-term assistance programs and our solid waste assistance program with these changes to the long-term assistance program. Collectively, these changes would open up our assistance programs to about 15,000 households here in Bellevue. And this is one example, the expanded bill assistance program, of the work that our Environmental Services Commission completes each year. Earlier this year, the recommendations to expand the program were reviewed in detail and recommended by the Commission to the City Council, and the City Council will then consider that as part of next year's budget or this year's budget process in the fall. So to bring us all back to the end here, at the end of the day, our goal is to provide you, our customers and the community with high quality water services. And we want to make sure we deliver good value for your dollar. The proposed water rates next year translate to little over 1 penny per gallon. To put that into perspective, we can deliver 70 gallons of mountain fresh water to your home for the same price as a 16-ounce bottle of water bought at your neighborhood grocery store. And we'll deliver to your house too. See, so and so this concludes our presentation. at this time, we're happy to answer any questions you may have. And at the end, just want to say thank you for making this time to join this meeting and this discussion tonight.
Yes, thank you, Matt and Barol. That was great information to share. We do have one question that has come into the chat. How does Bellevue compare to neighboring cities in terms of utility rates?
Yeah, I can answer that. And so when we look at the combined water, sewer, and stormwater bill, and would you mind, Michaeline, maybe going to slide 20 just for perspective?
Yes, I can.
There we go. So if we look at the bills today, Bellevue is regionally competitive with other cities in the area, including Seattle, Redmond, Issaquah, and Kirkland. I will say that our combined residential bill, we're lower than Seattle and Mercer Island, and we're a bit higher than cities like Kirkland, Issaquah, and Redmond.
Great, thank you. Okay. If you have any other questions, go ahead and put those in the chat as well. Barol, we did have one question that came in earlier about upcoming projects for utilities, what to expect for upcoming capital projects.
Yeah, I can put some lights on that. As I mentioned that in our CIP, we have some ongoing program to replace our aging infrastructure. And then we also have some specific projects that come in and prioritize to invest in and to improve reliability or support growth. In our water utility, we have our ongoing program on the water main replacement program that is continuing. It's an important program for us to fund annually. We are continuing with the 5 miles per average replacement target. Another major project that we're funding in this budget cycle is our Maidenbower South Reservoir project. It's also known as West Operating Area storage requirements. It's the project goal is to provide drinking water storage that are required for the forecasted population growth that we are having in our downtown core and Bellred, Wilburton area. The project includes a 6 million gallon reservoir, pump station, and transmission mains to allow that to happen, and it support the growth that we are anticipating. And then we also fund a couple of water pump station projects that are coming online, and particularly in the Somerset neighborhood, that will be in construction upcoming next year, in fact. In our sewer program, sewer utility, we have quite a few pump station projects that we're funding. There are like almost 6 major pump station rehabilitation and another half a dozen pump stations that we're doing minor rehab. One of the major project in the Newport sewer neighborhood, Newport area, sewer basin that we call. There are a couple of aging pump station that we are looking into the planning phase and how to replace those 2 major facilities, and those are funded in this upcoming budget cycle. In our storm projects, we are targeting a couple of stormwater water quality improvements projects, and it's several of them. It's scattered around the city, and also we're funding our rehab program that is in our fixing the defects in our pipe so that it doesn't happen, lead to the flooding issue that can lead to. So lots of projects they're coming up, and our operation team, our capital delivery team will be heavily busy, and we're looking forward to continuing the service that we take pride in supporting the community and serving the community.
Okay, don't go too far, Barol, because the question that came in the chat was about Whalers Cove Conveyance Project. Do you want to speak a little bit more about stormwater capital improvement projects?
Which project can you
So
kind of?
their question in particular is about stormwater capital improvement projects, but want to learn whether it's a good project, in particular the Whalers Cove conveyance project.
I would say it's a newer project. Our planning team is looking into it and modeling it to understand the magnitude and the impact that will be coming into a capital project that may result in multiple projects that we need to put some improvements on. So I would say it is in the modeling and planning stage, and we are funding a little bit to understand the issue, and that will result in projects in subsequent years.
Okay, there was a follow-up to that question. The resident says, I'm also concerned that the stormwater system in downtown Bellevue has not kept up with growth. There has been erosion problems in the Maidenbower Creek and the bypass stormwater pipe into Maidenbower Bay. Looks like the Colorado River when we get a downpour. How long will it take to catch up and protect the bay from excessive sediment and pollution?
Great question, and I know that we have issues like that all over our city. This is a project that hasn't been prioritized yet. I know it is. Our O&M team is tracking very closely, and our planning team and O&M team are working towards coming up with a solution. And could be a combination of having some operational activities to prevent and take action on, and then also have a capital program project that address it. So it's a combination of both operating and capital projects. And I will take that project to have a little bit more insights, and so that I can follow up with that question.
Okay, thank you, Parole. There is another question in the chat, in the Q&A, and I don't know if I mentioned it. If you do have a question, you want to click on the Q&A button, and that's where you can put your question for us to answer. The next question, Matt, is about the bill assistance. How would the bill assistance program work for an HOA that pays the utility fees as part of the monthly assessments, where the residents are a mix of higher and low incomes?
Yeah, to answer that question. And so for our utility bill assistance programs, there are two assistance programs within one. The first one is available to customers who have an account, a single family residential customer who has an account with City of Bellevue, and so they would apply individually, and we would put a credit on their bill. Now, in this example that we have for the question is, well, what about a condo who there's just one bill that goes to the entire building, and owners pay that, or renters pay that as part of their assessment or as part of their rent? In that case, that would be part of our second long-term program, which is our utility rebate program. And how that works is the household, an eligible household within the building would apply to the City of Bellevue Utilities. And because they don't have an account with Bellevue Utilities, we would actually send them a check that is on par with what they would have paid to their condo association for water, sewer, and stormwater services.
Okay. Thank you, Matt. And then also, I should reference that we do have a bill assistance webpage at bellevuewall.gov/bill assistant, utilities bill assistance. I'll put it in the actual comments where you can get additional information about the program and also about the expansion. We'll definitely make sure that's available in the comments. Are there any other questions in the Q&A? Okay. If not, then I would like to thank Matt Hobson and Barol Shaha for their time this evening, and for all of our residents who were able to attend as well to learn about utilities, upcoming projects, and budget and rates, and what to expect. If you have any additional questions, you can always go to Bellevue Utilities webpage. We have a budget and rates website where we are taking feedback from the community, and you can submit any questions or comments there as well. All right. Well, thank you.
Have a good night.